Okay, so this is the Panther video where we install the main gun on the front of the turret. So we want to start out by just pre-rounding and also take the gun that you've created and just quickly sharpen the insertion end a little bit. It doesn't have to be actually sharp, but just it's a lot easier to fit into the holes if it's whittled down a little bit there. So it'd start there, and then we're going to round the gun shield a little bit before we put these holes in it, as it rounds a lot easier, well, more evenly before you put the holes in it. So just take a bamboo skewer and as evenly as possible just kind of roll the skewer underneath it. Now we're going to have to flatten that out again. Now if you get delamination here on these edges, you might have to put a little bead of glue to hold it together. Seems like we're alright for now. So I'll just continue. And use a 1/8 bit to drill the central hole. Just going to finish that off with the 1/16. And then insert the gun. Just the 1/8 bit can sometimes be a little bit loose for the skewer size, so I don't like to go all the way through with it, just to keep the gun shield and tight to the gun. Okay, so having a look at that, looks good. Now there's a couple little holes here. I'm going to bore those out with a 1/16 bit. Try to be careful to keep them in place. And one more on the other side. Okay, so even if these holes don't look that nice now, we can fix them up quite easily with a round toothpick. You just shove the round toothpick gently into these holes, or even a bamboo skewer, and it will round those up again nicely later on. So now, re-round the piece into the correct shape and set it on the gun base. Just have a look. Get it nice and centered. You want to mark where on the gun base. Just use a pencil through the main gun here. Now if you want to go for elevation, you're obviously going to want it up here like this. If you want the elevation on the gun, I usually go for straight and level. So just mark, make sure you're centered, and stick your pencil through and mark the gun base. And now, we're just going to, now again, if you're going to do elevation, you're going to want to pierce through from up here and be on a different angle when you come through with your drill bit. Because I'm straight and level, I want to do like this, so you can see how not only am I piercing through this front, but I'm going to pierce through the actual turret body, not just the gun shield. Okay, and now I'm going to expand the size of the hole so that I can actually get the gun in. Test fit the gun. Looks good, looks like it's coming out of the turret straight. And straight and level, or close enough to straight and level. Looks good. Now we're just going to put the gun shield back on to have a look and see how this looks. Looks about right. You don't want the gun shield too close at the bottom. There we go. Now you may have to adjust the way it's coming out, or up or down. You can do that pretty easily by just, you can take this and jam it in there, and if you need it to go up, you can sort of almost sand with the side of the drill bit, either up or down. This one looks to be in a good place. Now we're going to leave a little bit of this size change exposed. It's covered by material later, but for now you want to leave 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters, 3 millimeters exposed. So about like that. So about the same distance between these two lines, leave exposed on the outside of the gun shield. So now I'm going to take some 4:1 glue, and I'm just going to install the gun. So make sure you test fitted several times where everything's going to end up. And you just put a little bit of glue in here. There we go. Adjustments. You don't want the gun shield and the gun base quite touching, but you're gonna end up pretty close to that. There should be a little bit of space between them, but not very much. You definitely don't want it touching at the bottom. Okay, and that installs the main gun for the Panther. There we go.